This week we have a nice little project at the tram depot. Since a few days now we are the happy owners of this cute little digging machine. And because we have a small budget, we bought a small machine. You can clearly tell that it lives a hard life, but for us, good enough. The reason why we bought this little machine is, for example, to be able to install this kind of things that I don't even know how to call them, but this is heavy stuff. So the machine will be very useful for it. And it will also be easier to, for example, replace railroad ties or sleepers, because this thing heavy. We have to replace over 3,000 of these things, because as you can see, some of them are really in poor condition. Now this is of course a little piece of track we almost never use. The main track is much better than this one. It's just an example. Another reason why we bought this little beauty, now it's not really a beauty, but why we bought this is of course also to be able to clean up alongside the tracks. What we're gonna do, if it works, we're gonna buy or make some kind of mowing system that we can attach on the boom of this thing and then ride on the rails and mow along the tracks. But to be able to drive on the railroad tracks, it's maybe a good idea to install some tram wheels on this thing. And lucky we are, the distance between two rails is, it's a metric system, is 1000 millimeters, 1 meter. Distance between these two little tracks here, just a little bit less than 1 meter. Which means, in theory, we could install wheels here on the outside, which makes that we will be able to drive on the tracks and we don't need to watch out where we're going, because the tracks will guide us. But of course also to prevent driving on the railroad ties or sleepers, because it will damage them. So on the tracks it will be. So all we need, wheels. And I found some pretty nice specimen right here. But too small. But luckily we also have this beautiful yellow machine here. And on the underside there are 6 wheels that for us are perfectly useless. These wheels were part of some kind of measuring system and they aren't connected to anything. So for us they are useless, and there are 6 of them. And the diameter, almost. I would like a little bit bigger, but it's all we have. There are 2 of these wheels in the front, 2 here in the middle and 2 in the back. And I suppose, I'm not sure, they were meant to take measurements in height and width. But for us, no need. Now okay, I know, you're probably gonna tell me that it's perfectly impossible to mount tram wheels on this kind of machines, so let's go for it. But I think first thing I want to do is give a good little clean in here, because it's really dirty. And because we don't have running water here in the tram depot, let's bring this thing to the river. It won't win any prizes in a beauty contest, but it's all already a little bit better. Now, I installed the machine in its place between the 2 rails. And here we can clearly see the gap we're dealing with. So let's start, for example, by taking these wheels off. And in fact it is now the very next day, because yesterday I was here but I forgot my Allen keys at home, so I had to come back today. Let's go for it. And this is how it should look like once finished. Of course, for the moment it isn't, as you can see. And to be sure, the bolts behind here to hold the sprocket wheel in place, to be sure this bolt works, I took one out and it came very easily. And when I put it back in, of course not too tight because I have to take them out again, I broke my brand new little Allen key tool here. That's stupid, but whatever, you can go there. The idea is of course to make some kind of spacer that goes between this flange here and this wheel. And this spacer should be 110 millimeters. And I would like it to locate on this, I don't know how you call this part here. So I need a hollow in there of 160 millimeters. And then 8 holes for the bolts. And it could well be that these useless wheels I found, they're gonna be useful as spacers. And this is more or less the idea. Between this rim here and the flange I need to make a spacer 110 millimeters. And that's why I brought these wheels, but too small. The height I have here is indeed 110, so that could be perfect. But they fall in here. And that's why I brought also this kind of rusty plate here. This is I think 6 millimeter. So if I make a circle that fits in the wheel itself and then install my spacer here, in theory it could work. But all this should be held together with a 8-bolt pattern. And the distance between 2 bolts is 180 millimeters. And the diameter of my thing here is also 180, which means that the bolt should come exactly here in this rim. So that's not gonna work. Which means that my more or less easy solution here is not easy at all, because I cannot use these plates I can use, and I have to find something else to fill the space between this plate and my 110 millimeter height here. But in the meanwhile, while I'm thinking of another solution, what I can do is of course drill these 8-hole patterns in here at 180 millimeter from each other, because whatever solution, I will always need these holes to tighten the zig together, of course. And I already clamped down one of these wheels, because of course there are two, here on the table of my milling machine, and I have some belts and the belts between here to protect the table because of these rusty things I really don't like on my beautiful brand new machine here. Now, next problem. Distance between two holes, 180 millimeters. Total travel of this vertical head here, 150 millimeters. 30 millimeters too short. So, but we will cross that bridge later. Let's drill what we can drill. I used the Zeus book and my brain's prosthesis. In the book there are two solutions. There is one bolt pattern here for the two on top are horizontal, and there is the other one down here where the one on top is only one hole, so a little bit switched. If I use the bolt pattern, the configuration thing that's on top here, there are 4 holes I cannot drill in this setup. So I have to change and then drill. But if I use this one, it's only 2 holes I cannot drill. So I will drill 6 holes and then find a solution for the 2 others. To prevent drilling both the holes in my beautiful wheels here, I first center drilled these tiny spots here. And then I checked with my dividers. And I can tell you, the Zeus book is right, so get one if you don't already have one. Right, let's drill the real holes. I just drilled by hand, just like on a drill press. And as you can see, it works like a charm. All the holes are now drilled in my future wheels here. And everything went so well that I broke my center drill. Shit. Now, this was a really fine, really good center drill, so that's a terrible loss. And then, of course, it went again so well that I also broke a center drill. But whatever. And then I started drilling, and my drill bit didn't want to go deeper because the little point of my center drill was stuck in the hole, so I had to get it out. But now at least all holes are drilled in both wheels. And I think it's time to start thinking drilling the same hole pattern in the faceplate for the lathe, because of course I have to turn some kind of rim inside here. And yes, I'm tapping by hand because today is not really my lucky day and I really don't want to break a tap in my faceplate here. Manual. All the holes are tapped now in my faceplate and I didn't break any taps, so that's good. And I installed my wheel here on, and of course to hold these things together I need bolts, and I have a whole box of these beautiful little, and of course too short, and I don't have any longer, so I have to go out and buy some new. But again, end of the week's in Rome, which means we have to continue this adventure in an upcoming video, and see you there.